have no concept of God. Shame on you. Shame on you.
If you want an abortion in the state of Alabama, this is what you'll have to face.
You killed your baby, you shameful rat.
Hey, don't be a whore. Don't be a slut. Don't be a hoe.
Wicked, nasty, disgusting whore. Sick freak.
Wicked.
People should be comforted through this and not damned and hated.
All the judgment that society puts on it, it's hard not to feel guilty in a way about it.
I am asking Congress to pass legislation finally banning the late-term abortion of babies.
Donald Trump is the most anti-abortion president in years.
Do you believe in punishment for abortion? Yes or no, as a principle?
There has to be some form of punishment.
Now, a vicious political fight for control of the Supreme Court could see abortion being banned entirely for millions of women across America.
And that's what we're going to do. We're going to fill the seat. That's a good idea.
Performing abortions in America can get you murdered. I'm coming face to face with people convicted of anti-abortion terrorism.
I knew that I would be coming against these abortion chambers with destructive force. I knew that I would destroy them.
And the anti-abortion campaigners who celebrate these attacks.
When they bomb an abortion clinic or burn an abortion clinic, I think the Army of God has done a marvelous job.
I'm meeting the medical staff who risk their lives to provide abortions.
This building's been bombed. It's been flooded.
And the women who face the harshest choices of their lives.
It's living. It's living. It's kicking.
The fight over abortion has become a fight for the future of America.
Ma'am, this doctor here is an abortionist. Don't you deserve better?
It's a war on children. It's a war on a human being in the womb.
I know that with this upcoming election, that's what we have at stake. It's gonna hurt women.
This is the battle, the soul of the country, right? Who's Charlotte?
Charlotte was my daughter. I was pregnant with her beginning in 2012. Unfortunately, we didn't get to give birth to her to the point where I got to see her or hold her, but she's my daughter.
When Trinity was 18 weeks pregnant, a routine scan found her fetus had 3 lethal medical conditions. She was told the best option was to have an abortion to avoid the baby suffering.
Incompatible with life, that phrase will haunt you and haunts me, in the depths of my nightmares. You're just taken right back into that room, right back into that moment where someone tells you that your baby's gonna die. They put the needle through your belly, into your uterus, and into the baby's heart. That was the moment that you know that she's going. It sounds crazy and it sounds silly, but I wanted to see it beat for the last time. And I wanted to be there and have her know that I was watching her as we said goodbye. And it just seems so surreal. I'm just so lost. I just don't know, do I get to feel like I lost a baby? Because I felt like in some way I didn't deserve to be sad. Through a lot of therapy and a lot of time, I realized that I feel that way because of what society's made me feel. I know that other people are forced to come out of a clinic and have people yell at them and call them murderers and tell them that they've murdered their baby and call them horrible names and wave signs in front of them and yell at them. And I just can't even imagine what I would have done. I can't imagine what my husband would have done at that moment if we would have been wheeled out and somebody would have been standing there in front of us, picketing us.
This is a country where you can be vilified and stigmatized for having an abortion. For decades, the Supreme Court has protected the right of a woman to choose with the landmark decision Roe versus Wade. But the death of Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg has led to a battle for control of the Supreme Court.
That's what we're going to do. We're going to fill the seat. That's a good idea.
These legal struggles could have far-reaching consequences for American women. It may even mean abortion is one day banned across much of America. I'm heading for a front line in the war on abortion. Only 3 clinics regularly provide abortions in the whole of Alabama. Patients who arrive at Alabama Women's Center in Huntsville have to be shielded by these people, known as clinic defenders, because every day, just yards from the clinic entrance, are anti-abortion protesters.
Nasty whore! Shame on you, you wicked devil, baby murderer! You're worse than Jeffrey Dahmer, you sick freak!
The clinic defenders are all volunteers who work here because they believe in the right of women to choose.
A clinic defender is someone who's going to stand out here and put ourselves in between the patients and these protesters.
Yeah, I'm talking to you, Dad. Shame on you.
I know that they have to be extremely brave to even pull into this parking lot some days.
You deserve to be stoned!
There's 15+ protesters out there screaming.
Wicked. Vile.
I love it!
Disgusting.
They're making a big decision already by coming here. And they come into this parking lot and this is what they're met with. This is what equal access to healthcare looks like in Alabama.
Disgusting.
Walking around naked, showing off your thighs and your legs, nasty whore.
I wish they would understand that not everything is black and white, right and wrong.
I pray that every woman that opens up her nasty, disgusting disease vagina to have a baby ripped out of their womb, I pray that they bleed to death.
This is it. This is the life at the clinic.
This is an everyday occurrence. Welcome to Alabama.
Having an abortion can be stressful and difficult, and the staff say the protesters make things much worse.
Someone coming into something like this for the first time, it can be scary. And they come in a lot of time flustered, angry, crying.
This is Morgan. She's decided to have an abortion because she has no financial means to bring up a child.
How are you feeling?
Nervous. I knew immediately what I was going to do, but it doesn't make it any easier just thinking about it and all the judgment that society puts on it and everything. So it's gonna weigh on my life for a really long time just thinking about it.
The vast majority of patients who come here are less than 10 weeks pregnant, and they're given a pill which induces a miscarriage.
Before we give you the first dose of medicine, we always like to be sure that you're absolutely certain this is what you want to do. This one is the one that you're going to swallow.
But Morgan has only just found out she's 15 weeks pregnant, so she'll be undergoing the procedure used for later term patients. She's been given medicine to relax her and dilate her cervix. But because of the stress and nerves, it's not taking effect.
Slow, deep breath. Listen to me. Slow, deep breath. Yeah, I'll come if it's okay.
Dr. Yaschica Robinson is the supervising doctor.
a lot of pressure, okay? The first thing that you're gonna feel is just cold sore. Tell me what's going on. Are you feeling pain right now?
No.
What's going on?
I'm just scared.
You're scared? Didn't I tell you I was gonna take really good care of you?
I know. I believe you.
Okay, well, scoot down one more time.
Once the medicine starts to work, it only takes around 5 minutes for Dr. Robinson to remove the contents of the uterus.
You have only about 60 seconds and we're finished, okay? You have about 10 seconds and you're finished. I told you it was going to be over before you knew it. You're done.
How are you doing? It's better than I expected. I think that the worst part was just waiting and anticipating.
I know when I came in to talk to you the first time, you said you was really nervous and you were worried. And then when I came back in, you was really worried. But you did very well. But if you have any concerns after you leave, I want you to make sure you call us, okay? All right.
Dr. Robinson is medical director of the clinic, in charge of everything that goes on here, and her partner Dalton owns it. This is one of the few abortion clinics in the whole of America which is owned and run by people of color.
I am a proud abortion provider. I'm unapologetic about the care that I provide for my patients. I can understand where these women are coming from because I'm interacting with them on a daily basis and I understand the circumstances that go into them making these decisions.
For some women who come here, this is one of the worst days of their lives. Sarana has recently had her 20-week scan. She's been told her fetus has a series of major medical disorders, and it's very probable it won't survive.
Oh, wow. I don't know, just disbelief, shock, just hurt, I can't believe it. Never been through anything like this. I guess it's just a worst nightmare for any mother.
Do you have other children?
Yes, ma'am. I have an oldest son. Wow. He'll be 13 and he's looking so forward to being a big brother.
He was looking forward to being a big brother.
She's named her unborn son, Andre. To save Andre any suffering, she decides to have the abortion. A counselor is on hand to comfort her. The procedure itself takes 20 minutes, and the staff help her to her car. Dr. Robinson's clinic mostly serves the rural, poor, and African-American communities of Alabama.
What we're going through right now, our current economic situation, people are already struggling just to put food on the tables. You see people waiting in long lines just to get food from food banks. You know, we're almost like social workers or social service providers for these patients because their needs are so great.
One day, Alex comes into the clinic. She's in a same-sex relationship and already has a young daughter. She tells me she's decided to have an abortion because she was attacked and raped just outside her apartment by two men she didn't know. Because of the lack of available clinics, Alex has been forced to drive 10 hours to get here. Although she can barely afford it, she's had to stay in a nearby motel.
It is the hardest decision I think that I've ever had to make in my life. Had I just had sex with two guys, I would be like, okay, yeah, of course. But I don't know those people. I don't know what type of diseases. I don't know anything of them. And I know that I have been through so much mentally that I would always look at that baby and say that this baby was not made in love. I think back to the pressure that they were applying to my anus and my vagina. That's what I think back to. And I know I am forgiven. It was the most hurtful thing. So this is my uterus, I'm my own woman, and this is what's best for me. It's the right thing to do.
Yeah. Have you ever considered the possibility of keeping this pregnancy?
Every second since I've been here. I'm not thinking, but it's in the back of my mind. It's living. It's living. It's kicking. I don't think I want to talk anymore. My daughter loves me. Jesus loves me. And that's enough for me. And that's enough for any of the women that are going to watch this.
So you first created a family before you created God.
The protests that dog Dr. Robinson outside the abortion clinic follow her wherever she does her work. 10 minutes away, she also runs this maternity and baby center. She's an obstetrician and gynecologist, providing the full range of medical care for mother and child,
Yes.
including bringing babies into the world.
Yes, I was the first one to hold you.
But even here, she is targeted by protesters. Pregnant patients who arrive at her center for a scan or even to give birth are harassed.
Ma'am, this doctor here is an abortionist. Don't you deserve better? Yaschica Robinson murders babies in the womb, an average of 50 a week, ma'am.
Dead or alive, Yaschica Robinson does not care. Dead or alive.
Don't you deserve better than Dr. Death? Think about it. Dr. Death here. Think about it.
This is Carol Henderson, the wife of the local reverend who organizes all the protests here.
There's never a reason for a woman to have an abortion. If they obeyed God's commandments and not fornicate, they wouldn't get pregnant, would they?
Hey, Josie.
Staff inside the clinic have to be continually vigilant.
When the protesters show up, and sometimes if there's nobody out there, they'll block the driveway. So we'll have our OB patients coming in. Sometimes they're pretty distraught by the time they get in the door. They're crying because they say that the driveway was blocked and they couldn't come down the driveway, or that, you know, somebody touched them or got really close to them, and it kind of shakes them up.
The stress that they are putting on these pregnant patients who are trying to just have a healthy pregnancy it's just mind-blowing.
Do you not feel it's disrespectful of the women that are going in here who just want to have their child or who are coming?
That's not disrespectful. Telling them the truth and informing them. Don't we all want to be informed before we do something?
The protesters tell me they once persuaded a woman not to have an abortion. And this woman is now a fellow campaigner.
She is so thankful. She is so thankful. Her fourth child was a little girl. She had 3 boys, and now she has a little girl. And she is thankful.
Why not?
Why would she want to?
Well, she can tell her story.
She doesn't want to tell you her story. Thank you.
Why not?
God's gonna cut out your disgusting tongue like fatback. It's gonna fry.
All that so callously kill your children are gonna face God.
Shame on you, you wicked devil, baby murderer! God cares about that baby.
Back at the abortion clinic, Daniel and Mary are a newly married couple and are regular protesters.
These are Satanists and witches that delight in the shedding of innocent blood. It's part of their religion. You seem to be obsessed with them.
That's especially not old nasty whores like you, so I wouldn't worry about you. I wouldn't worry about that.
A regular target of their abuse is clinic defender Josephine.
Why do you do this? Why put up with this? Why put yourself through this?
I cry for the women that come here that don't deserve to be treated that way. Somebody needs to be here for them and to let them know it's okay. You have the right to make this decision, and you know, we all need support sometimes.
I persuade Daniel and Mary to sit down with me to talk.
What do you think you're going to accomplish by calling somebody a whore?
Well, if they already know they're a whore, then they're gonna say, well, you know what? He told me the truth.
We're trying to save the baby. These parents should be ashamed. They should be ashamed of what they're going to do.
By God's law, they should be stoned to death at the edge of the city.
Whoever sheds blood, God's gonna kill you. You see all these parents going in, and you see these Satanists and witches working in the parking lot, and it's very depressing. When I first started going, I was a lot more like crying, like there's never anything positive about going out there. It's miserable. It's a sacrifice. It's just obeying God, so it's not something pleasant at all.
The Bible says it's peace that surpasses understanding, and I believe that. It's unexplainable.
What do you think, Mary? What does peace feel like? Do you feel like you found it?
Yes, in general, yes. Well, I mean, I didn't really want to talk to you at all. I submit to him because the Bible tells wives to submit to their husbands and obey their husbands, so I obey him.
Kind of pulled her down here, actually, but...
Did you really?
Rejects from wherever...
Mary tells me she had a very unhappy life before she found God.
There was abuse in my family, pretty severe. So the day I was born again, when I asked Jesus to come into my heart, I was just flooded with love, you know, and it was like I had never known what that felt like. The Father's love for me. I have to do it because I know that God wants me to do it.
Isn't this better than shouting at each other on the sidewalk?
We'll see on Judgment Day which works.
I mean, this is how we typically deal with people. We don't typically shout at people. That's just a crisis situation where little children are about to be tortured to death.
One day, a group of evangelical street preachers arrives from out of state to join the usual gang.
You are an abomination. Not your sin, you. That's where you kill your baby. Hey, don't be a whore. Don't be a slut. Don't be a hoe. You murdered your baby. Do it the way God says, and you don't have to murder your baby.
They shout racially charged abuse at the black patients.
Black lives don't really matter in this building. The worst place for a black person, it's in the vagina of Shaniqua.
They also tried to provoke the clinic defenders.
We have nothing nice to say to you.
You are worse than the ones that are molesting the children. You! That's what God thinks of you! That's what God thinks of you! That's what God thinks of you! You're worse than the child molesters! You're worse than the ones that stick dildos into babies! You're worse than ones that finger babies! You're worse than ones that lick vaginas of little babies! You kill babies!
They start targeting me.
You are one dumb female Muslim.
You know, if we were out here enforcing Sharia law, we'd go ahead and take you around the corner and rape you if we were a good Muslim. If we were a good Muslim group, we'd take you and your little immodest little pants there around the corner and we'd have our way with you. Sharia law? Yeah, you want to get raped. You want Sharia law? You got Jihad Jane right out here. Your lifestyle, dressing like a whore, provokes people to have dirty sex.
I've received abuse like this so many times in my work, I thought I was used to it.
jihadist Islamic
But after
woman.
weeks of filming here, I briefly lose my cool.
Step back. Yeah? Step back.
This is a free country.
Hey, get on.
Control yourself.
So you think me wearing these jeans...
You're provoking rape. I wouldn't be surprised if you get raped tonight wearing those jeans walking down the street.
Have some shame.
I've repented. All right, you talk, or you listen. We talk, you listen. We're not giving women permission to speak right now. So be quiet. Be quiet. Oh, it was just a little nipple. Oh, just a little sexy.
Although I've become caught up in the angry exchanges, I do want to understand what these protesters believe in. So I try to get them to talk to me.
No, he's preaching.
No, but seriously.
Ask this
He's
guy.
preaching.
Ask him.
Abortion is murder. How's that?
Is that the gist of it?
That's why we're here. That's why we're on the sidewalk.
And so what should happen?
Stop murdering babies.
And he tells me he thinks President Trump is on his side.
He will do it. We will get people within the Supreme Court, and on this second term, we will actually change Roe v. Wade. He's going through the court system. That's what's going to happen. He's put more federal judges that are conservative in America that are surpass his life. So yes, Roe v. Wade will be overturned. True Christianity will always be around, and I do represent it, and you'll be surprised how many people like me exist in our beloved country, America.
Come to our land so that you may bless us again, because we understand that if we don't turn to you and repent...
There's a war on abortion in Trump's America. Every day, protesters hurl abuse at patients entering this clinic, and many more across the country.
Don't go in that wicked place! They torture children to death!
Since 2014, reports of hate mail, obstruction, and disruption of clinics have increased 24 times, and violence, including invasion, death threats, and assault, has increased 17 times.
This is America. This is the home of the free, land of the free, home of the brave.
I've been filming with Dr. Yaschica Robinson and her partner Dalton. They run the Alabama Women's Center, one of the few abortion clinics left in the state. Harassment has become a part of their working life.
I mean, I take the precautions that I can to make sure that I feel safe and that my family feels safe. When I pull up to the hospital at night, I make sure that I park in the front of the hospital in a well-lit place. I never park on the back side of the hospital. I check my surroundings before I step out of my vehicle. I also know that it's important that I'm outspoken about what is going on. When there's nobody that's willing to speak up, it makes it very difficult for us to fight for what we know our patients need. I can't do that and hide my face.
2 decades ago, there were over 20 abortion clinics in Alabama. Now, there are just 3, and they're under siege. It's not just the protesters on their doorstep. The war on abortion is also being waged to the state legislators and the courts. Alabama clinics have to operate under tight restrictions. Patients have to attend at least 2 appointments spaced out by 48 hours before the abortion can go ahead.
Hello, I'm Dr. Robinson. I understand you plan to do the pill, is that correct?
Because she is early in pregnancy, Misty can take a pill which will induce a miscarriage. But the restrictions have made things much more difficult for her.
I greatly appreciate it.
You are so welcome.
It's 3 appointments for me to come here, and they have to be spaced out. They have to be at least 48 hours apart. They have to be all these things. So we just make it ridiculously difficult. And they're continuing to try to do that more.
Another regulation is that the patient must undergo an ultrasound and be offered the option of seeing what the fetus looks like.
The men who make these rules, they add an extra ultrasound so that you have to hear a heartbeat, so that you have to think about that part of it, and you can't make your decisions based on emotion. You know, you have to make your decisions based on fact. They make it more difficult, so you won't do it. They take away your choices. They want to play on your heartstrings.
Another issue is the increasing costs of an abortion for people living on the breadline. Alex, who'd earlier shared with me that she'd been raped, has left the pregnancy until its 20th week.
Why did you wait so long?
I honestly didn't think I would have funding, and we were saving so much money to do it.
You didn't have the money for the abortion?
No.
In the end, she was one of the lucky ones. A private pro-choice organization agreed to pay her expenses for the operation. But now she has another trial to face. Because her trip is over a weekend, the delay imposed by the law means she has to wait almost a week in Huntsville before the abortion can go ahead.
This is what's really hurting me about the situation, being here in Huntsville with this, because it's been a week. And so I'm dealing with this a week later. That's hateful. That's hate to me. So I'm done.
I think patients like that, they highlight everything that's wrong with our system. There's very few providers who can provide the care. When women can't access care in a timely manner, they're pushed to later in the pregnancy. She highlights how harmful restrictions on abortion care, like waiting periods, how harmful that can be to patients. Because after she has already driven so far, she has to turn around and wait. I mean, she highlights everything that's wrong with this. Patients like that you never forget. There is no other medical specialists that have legislators constantly challenging the services they provide to their patients and how they do it. But I face that because I choose to provide this full spectrum of care, including abortion care.
Across the whole of America, the physical threat to abortion providers is real. Since 1977, there have been 11 murders, 26 attempted murders, 42 bombings, 189 arsons, and thousands of other lesser crimes directed at abortion providers. I've come to Kansas to visit a clinic that suffered brutal violence over the years. It's easy to find the Trust Women's Center in Wichita because of the giant anti-abortion van, and once again, the protesters hanging around outside.
Okay. Well,
So
good luck.
what are you doing here today?
We're saving lives out here. We are trying to convince women that they don't have to kill their child. And what is happening inside is the violence that you see on the side of the truck. That's the truth truck, by the way. We call that the truth truck.
In the war on abortion, this clinic may be its ground zero.
Hi. Hi, how are you? See, I'm Julie.
Julie Burkhart and her staff are under perhaps the greatest risk of any clinic workers in America.
So there are no windows in this building.
That's correct. We have just a few windows, but they're high up. And the reason for that is if there was ever a sniper, we would be able to keep staff a little safer. This building's been bombed. It's been flooded. There's the one death threat that's still really, I think because it was so graphic, following me, dragging me out of my car, and beating me to a bloody pulp.
We live and breathe this every day, you know, to help other people. Someone wants to drag you out of your car and beat you to a bloody pulp. It's like, and you're a Christian? How could you love someone? How could you say that to someone? It's just, how? Like, how do you think that is okay?
I'm not gonna live in fear. I mean, I hope no one murders me because I think I could have a long life.
It, you know, makes me want to do it more. It gives me that, it gives me my power back.
Everyone here is haunted by the memory of an atrocity. The clinic was founded by Dr. George Tiller. For decades, he was the premier hate figure of the anti-abortion movement because he provided abortions to women late in pregnancy.
Dr. Tiller, he was my boss. He was my mentor. He just really wanted, people to be able to live their best lives.
In 1991, thousands of protesters staged sit-ins for 6 weeks outside the clinic. In 1993, he was shot and wounded by an anti-abortion extremist, Shelley Shannon, but he was soon back at work.
Is this going to change anything about the way you do business here?
I don't think so. I have the wonderful opportunity to go to work and help people today.
The pressure was intensifying.
My office had been blown up. In 1993, I survived an assassination attempt.
National television ran angry debates and opinion pieces, further increasing awareness of Dr. Tiller.
This man, Dr. George Tiller, known as Tiller the Baby Killer, is performing late-term abortions without defining the specific medical reasons why.
Dr. George Tiller, who is one of the few doctors in the United States who performs the Hitlerian procedure known as a partial birth abortion.
Right. Tiller has killed thousands of late-term fetuses without explanation. No question Dr. Tiller has blood on his hands.
No, it's
Tiller the Killer is
it's Tiller the Baby Killer, which is what he is known by.
Tiller the Baby Killer. Absolutely. He's known by that for certain groups.
And
but
I'm not supposed to report that?
We knew he drove an armored vehicle, had a bulletproof vest. Just the walls were kind of closing in.
In 2009, they finally got him. Dr. Tiller was shot dead at his church by an extremist called Scott Roeder. At his trial, Roeder defended his actions.
I did what I thought was needed to be done to protect the children. I shot him.
Did Dr. Tiller drop to the floor instantly?
2 or 3 seconds later, yes, he did. The lives of those children were in imminent danger. If someone did not stop George Tiller, he was going to continue as he had done for 36 years prior to that time.
He was sentenced to life for first-degree murder. At first, the clinic was shut down. But then Julie took the decision to reopen and carry on Dr. Tiller's work.
If I don't stand back up and other people don't stand back up and push against these fanatics, then they will take us over.
It's nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you too. Come on in, it's raining.
You're Jennifer, right?
Mm-hmm. I am.
Jennifer McCoy has spent years protesting outside Julie's clinic.
All right, bye-bye. Good. We're gonna take my car right there.
So you never skip a Friday?
No.
Why not?
Because you miss an opportunity to help somebody else. I've been outside this place a good 25 years. I call it the mill because I feel like that's what it is. It's a kill mill. And I've known Julie for as long as I've been out there. I'm fairly certain she dabbles in the satanic world, or at least Wiccans. Can I offer you some information?
In the 1990s, Jennifer spent 30 months in prison after being convicted of conspiracy to commit arson against 2 abortion clinics in Virginia.
Wrote the wrong time down on the wrong card.
She says she campaigns legally now, spending every Friday outside Julie's clinic.
Have you ever spoken to Jennifer?
No. She's yelled at me. That's as far as our conversations have gone. She's been a fixture, so yeah. She's one of the names we know.
Jennifer tells me she became a campaigner because she was forced to have an abortion against her will when she was younger.
Watching the devastation of somebody else's soul and knowing what they'll go through after they go through this gate when they come out, it honestly wears on people. If you care about other people, so many lives, so many souls are ruined and hurt and broken, sometimes beyond repair. I do feel like this is where God wants me to be. This is what he wants me to do.
Scott Roeder, the man who murdered Dr. Tiller, has links with a shadowy anti-abortion network called the Army of God. Often when people carry out attacks on clinics, they claim they are doing it in the name of the Army of God. Since the early 1980s, many bombings, arson and acid attacks on clinics, as well as the murder of at least 3 abortion doctors, have been carried out by domestic terrorists using the name the Army of God.
2 bombs exploded last month at an Atlanta clinic where abortions are performed.
A Chicago area man who federal investigators say pledged allegiance to the domestic terror group called Army of God, now facing charges connected with a threat to burn down a local abortion clinic.
In 2018, Luke Wiersma was arrested after planning to bomb and burn a number of Chicago abortion clinics.
They say he is a self-professed member of the Army of God that federal agents consider to be a Christian domestic terror organization.
He was imprisoned for a year and a half. The Army of God's website openly celebrates the murder of abortion doctors and praises the killers. I'm heading to Virginia to meet the man who runs the website. Donald Spitz is an ordained Pentecostal minister. He tells me that the Army of God is just a name which people use when they carry out their actions.
The Army of God is a moniker that people use when they bomb an abortion clinic or burn an abortion clinic or take action against the abortionists. Sometimes they associate an Army of God, the name Army of God, with their action. I mean, I've been accused of, being the spokesperson for the Army of God or being the head of the Army of God, but that's not so. The Army of God we're not an organization. It's not like you get a membership. The Army of God is people that want to save unborn children that use force or support the use of force, to stop it. Many abortionists have quit because of the Army of God.
He shows me the Army of God website, which lists prisoners who have carried out violent actions as prisoners of Christ.
The first person on the list is Paul Hill. Paul Hill shot an abortionist and his bodyguard, and the wife of the bodyguard, but she survived. They put Paul Hill to death. I was there. We were best friends. I was his spiritual advisor. I was with him the last 2 weeks of his life every day. It was a wonderful time together.
The website has a number of pages on Dr. Tiller. It compares him to the architects of the Nazi Holocaust, and it praises Shelley Shannon, who attacked Dr. Tiller in 1993.
She shot Dr. Tiller in the arms. He was back the next day. He should have taken that as a warning and quit. And because he didn't quit, then God sent Scott Roeder to finish it off.
The website calls Scott Roeder an American hero. A close associate of Spitz is John Brokoft. He spent 7 years in prison for a string of arson and bomb attacks on clinics in Cincinnati in the 1980s. He also agrees to meet me.
I knew that I would be coming against these targets, these abortion chambers, with destructive force. I knew that I would destroy them either by arson or bombing. People in our movement call it murder, say abortion is murder. But when the government is participating in it, then it's a war crime and a crime against humanity. We have body counts, and we have bombings. We have soldiers. We have war criminals and death. So those who are attuned into these things realize that this is war. The Lord is going to restore his people to power. We're going to win this war.
What if you're wrong?
I know I'm not wrong. No.
What if you're on the wrong side of this?
It's inconceivable. It's inconceivable.
Are you a fanatic?
Sure I am. Obviously, I'm very passionate about it and willing to die for it. What motivated me? Shame. I was ashamed for not doing it. Before I set those fires, I couldn't look in the mirror and hold eye contact with myself for a very long time. But after I set those fires, I could look myself in the mirror for indefinitely.
What does shame feel like?
It's like not liking somebody except the one you dislike as yourself. It's like I'm in the twilight zone and I can't get out. I can't find an exit. I'm too old for that stuff now. I have all these health problems.
Do you wish you could?
Yeah. Every day I'm remorseful because babies are being killed and I'm not, and my response is not proportionate to the enormity and magnitude of the evil and the urgency and level of desperation.
Since the election of Donald Trump in 2016, bomb threats, invasions and assaults on staff at abortion clinics have all escalated. Nearly half of all abortion providers have reported severe violence, the threat of violence, or severe harassment.
Since the Trump-Pence administration, I've seen an increase in harassment. I feel like the protesters feel more empowered. I've seen more anti-abortion legislation being pushed forward. With the Trump administration, things have gotten worse for women.
I like to say this: there's been a rise in interest from very young people, people in their young 20s, high teens. There's been like a new wave of people, and some have even taken action, so that's good.
Turn from them and put our trust in the one that can help us in the time where we feel pressured or we feel that does the will of
It's January 2020, the March for Life rally in Washington, D.C. No previous president has ever personally attended this annual gathering of anti-abortion protesters. But Donald Trump is about to change that.
It is my profound honor to be the first president in history to attend the March for Life. We're here for a very simple reason: to defend the right of every child, born and unborn, to fulfill their God-given potential.
Donald Trump says he's opposed to abortion unless it's to save the mother's life or in cases of rape or incest. In his time in office, he's restricted funds for organizations that provide abortion and placed conservative judges on the Supreme Court.
And we will win because we know how to win.
Abortion is a key issue in American political life, and protesters on the March for Life rally are energized by it.
A physician or a doctor whose job is to help prolong someone's life. That's a doctor or physician's job.
It's a human life. They should deserve all the rights and privileges, even though they're not yet come to full term.
I just feel that people who aren't able to stick up for themselves should have someone to represent them.
I believe thou shalt not kill. Okay? Thank you.
I meet up with Jennifer McCoy again. She's a protester I'd met in Kansas. And her friends, Catherine Ramey and Joan Bell. They're all long-term anti-abortion activists.
And I'm a pacifist, so I would never do anything. I use direct force. I have disarmed murder weapons. I have cut the cords and ripped them out of abortion machines and cut the wires of autoclave machines so they couldn't do abortion. I believe in that, nonviolent direct force. That's what I personally believe in.
While filming in the Alabama Women's Center, I'd met women who said they'd been raped, such as Alex, and staff told me of distressing cases of incest.
Well, we had a little girl come in here once. She was 11 years old. She had got raped by her mama's boyfriend. And I just knew that little girl couldn't go through this. You know, she's not even developed yet. Her little body was so fragile. So it wasn't right.
I asked the protesters about these kind of cases.
Is abortion ever okay?
No, never.
Never?
Never. No. Never.
So incest, rape?
No, of course not. No.
Of course not.
Oh, no, because why should a child be punished? Why should the baby get the death penalty? She can give her baby up for adoption.
You believe in justice but that's a forced pregnancy. I mean, you're forcing a woman to endure a pregnancy.
You know, we all go through circumstances in life where we are forced to endure something awful.
But the 12-year-old girl who's been raped and you're forcing her to go through a pregnancy,
because
she's a human being.
We don't want her to cooperate with a murder.
Abortion betrays her humanity. We ought not to decide that everybody can do completely what they want to do.
So why not just leave it up to the individuals to make that decision?
I'd like to get out there and start getting signatures. That's what I'd like.
Well, no, I agree.
At the last election, those who voted for Donald Trump included 8 out of 10 white evangelicals. I've come back to Alabama to talk to a man who is both an ordained minister and part of the Republican electoral effort.
Good to see you.
The Reverend James Henderson and his wife Carol are the organizers of the protests outside the Alabama Women's Center.
We're here for the public to see that people do care and people are out here, and influencing public opinion is important. And with that help, we have seen 4 abortion clinics in Huntsville close. We were particularly proud to get Planned Parenthood out of town.
He was a Trump delegate for the 2016 election and says he met him at a campaign rally.
I'm confident that he will exert pressure to make abortion totally illegal once and for all in Alabama.
Later, at his home, I asked the Reverend Henderson why he supports Donald Trump when so many allegations of un-Christian scandals have surrounded him.
Well, if you look at biblical examples, take King David, for instance, he was not really such a nice guy. Adultery, to me, that's a good analogy. God can use people who have attributes that we might not really care for, but if they have the strength and are willing to take a stand on certain issues, and Donald Trump has certainly done that with abortion, a lot of basic values that a lot of us believe in. I felt he was the Lord's choice, and I still do.
State Senator Jen Jordan of Georgia is a passionate critic of Republican policies on abortion.
But no matter my faith, my beliefs, my losses, I have never, ever strayed from the basic principle that each woman must be able to make her decisions in consultation with her God and her family.
I think that this is about mobilizing part of the base evangelicals that are opposed to abortion, and this is their #1 issue. How do you get them to come back out and vote? How do you get their support? How do you energize them, especially when we have such a morally bankrupt president? Well, you say it's okay by saying but we were able to get abortion outlawed, and really kind of the political deal making that's happening, and it's happening, off the backs of women. All of it comes from a very deep place of distrust of women. I hate to say it, but it's kind of the whole idea of Eve's original sin, right?
One of the big dividing lines of the upcoming election is the practice of late-term abortions. For the past 4 years, Donald Trump has falsely accused his Democrat rivals of advocating abortion even up to the point of birth.
what Hillary is saying, in the 9th month, you can take the baby and rip the baby out of the womb of the mother just prior to the birth of the baby.
At his State of the Union speech this year, he promised to pass drastic legislation if re-elected.
I am asking Congress to pass legislation finally banning the late-term abortion of babies.
Oh, you are, but you're the first, so don't stress about, I was gonna say, don't stress about being late.
Trinity is a lawyer who lives in Georgia. When she was 20 weeks pregnant, she had to make the decision to have an abortion for medical reasons.
I cannot make the tuck look right. I need the French tuck.
She now runs a support group for women who have undergone the same traumatic loss as her.
She had extra fluid on her brain. As less than 10% of them lived to their first birthday. I felt like, I think at that moment I knew she's going to die. Either way, if I end the pregnancy or if I don't end the pregnancy, I knew she was going to die. And I was like, man, I have to give her a name. And so we named her, we named her Angelica that night. And I know we made the best decision that we could for her because we just did not want Angelica to suffer. We didn't want our living child to suffer. And
when we went in for the CVS, they did a full, really detailed ultrasound, and the valves were backwards. And the doctor said because of all of that, he would never grow lungs and would never take a breath. And I remember going out to my car, and then I just screamed in my car. I felt so guilty, and I have no reason to feel guilty because he would never have ever drawn a breath because he would have never grown lungs. But I still wanted to carry him because I wanted to meet him. I know you did too.
If late-term abortion is banned, women like these would have been forced to carry their babies to term with fatal medical conditions. Although he later withdrew the claim, during his election campaign in 2016, Donald Trump accepted that women should be punished for having an abortion.
Do you believe in punishment for abortion, yes or no, as a principle?
The answer is that there has to be some form of punishment.
For the woman?
Yeah, there has to be some form.
10 cents, 10 years,
I don't
what?
know. That I don't know.
Statements like these have distressed and angered Trinity's group.
When the president goes on TV and says that you should be punished for something that you know you did out of love for your child, but you should be punished, or that you are just wanting to kill your child, or just waited till your second trimester to do this, to me, it just made me so angry. I couldn't, how dare you? How dare you? And people are cheering him on like he's saying something that's accurate.
We are so divided, and there is so much blind hatred right now. And there's someone that has given all of those people a free pass to do it because he does it so much himself and seems to feed off of it.
I head back to Dr. Robinson's clinic in Huntsville. A high percentage of her patients come from the poor, rural areas of Alabama. Although the war on abortion is often spoken about in terms of women's rights, what's often ignored is the particular impact it can have on women of color. Through poverty or lack of access to care, a disproportionate number of African American women have abortions. This is Rebecca.
I'm here to terminate a pregnancy because I'm high risk and I'm really young and I already have a 4-year-old daughter. I'm not financially stable enough to carry another baby. And I'm not even mentally in a place to carry another baby. This is not a place for my baby boy right now.
This world?
This world, no. I'm sending my baby back with the angels. Not here in this hell on earth.
LaShonda is the head nurse.
There's no area that women of color are going to be equal to their white counterparts. We die at alarmingly higher rates just from natural childbirth. So no, women of color don't have the same level of care. They don't have the same access. They don't have the same privilege. We don't have the same resources as far as if abortion is illegal in Alabama, my parents can fly me to Wisconsin to get an abortion. Most people don't have that level of care. They don't have that level of access. You know, I've never been more afraid that our rights as women are going to be taken away.
Dr. Sanithia Williams works alongside Dr. Robinson at the clinic.
You are told that somehow it is wrong for you not to continue your pregnancy, but you don't have access to housing. You don't have access to healthy, nutritious, affordable food. You don't have access to safe living areas for your children to play. You're basically told by your government that you gotta just figure it out. Don't have an abortion, but figure it out. Racism touches everything in this country. We are birthed into it. It is in everything, right? It is in every, experience that I've ever had.
Even though I know that we have made a lot of progress, racism is still alive and well. It's not just us complaining, saying that we are treated differently and we don't have access to the same things. I see it play out. Being a woman of color, and it's like we're not seen. We're not seen as important. And I think that's why in this whole war that women of color have been forgotten.
Under Donald Trump's term in office, a number of Republican states have passed laws severely restricting abortion. In 2019, Alabama banned it even for rape or incest. None of these state laws can come into action because they're overruled by the landmark Supreme Court decision, Roe versus Wade. But just as I finished making this film, the nightmare of America's abortion providers came true. Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg died and gave Donald Trump the chance to establish a decisive conservative majority at the Supreme Court. If Roe versus Wade is overturned, states such as Alabama may be allowed to severely restrict or even ban abortion. An American woman's right to choose hangs in the balance.
Trusting patients to know what's best for their lives and allowing them to make those decisions. When you have people in office who don't understand that or who don't care about that, it's going to hurt women.
Jesus says, if you love me, obey my commands. His commands are, thou shalt not murder. And they are murdering these babies. It's a war on children. It's a war on a human being in the womb.
You're kind of taking the lid off a really dark kind of place in this country. This is the battle, the soul of the country, right? And maybe we aren't exactly where we thought we were.
It's such a tragedy that we can't just let it be. We just have to do all we can. I'm 78 years old, but I'll take my last breath trying to save those babies.
What can I do? What do you need?
Nothing. I don't want anything but for this to be. I can't carry it a day longer.